Hello everyone and welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm Steve Hood, joined by Errol Smith over at the board. We've got Dan Clubb as well. It is the Uncensored match build-up ahead of Liverpool versus Chelsea. Yes, big game in the Premier League for Liverpool. We'll be bringing you the official team news in about 15 minutes, just under its time. Errol, massive game. We got through the first post-Jurgen Klopp announcement game at the weekend with few scars from it. Now it's another first. It's the first Premier League game post-Jurgen. The first, with all due respect and knowledge, is a big game on the calendar as well. The manager's been keen to stress, I don't want it about me anymore. It's got to be about Liverpool winning the Premier League. And he's right. That's what we're not going to forget. Jurgen's leaving. It is what it is. It's the undercurrent to the entire season. But there's work to be done and there's points to be won. And the Reds have got to be on it.
Absolutely. And regardless of where Chelsea sit in the league table this year or how they've spent a massive amount of money on that squad that they've got and constructed. You know, they've got a new manager in Pochettino. They are still a massive football institution in this country, and they're a team that for best part of 2 and a bit years now we've not seemed to be able to get a win against, no matter where we play them, whether it's Wembley, Stamford Bridge or Anfield. So I'm fed up of score draws, mate. I need a Liverpool win tonight, and I think that's it really. There's an opportunity to make a big statement now, because we're going to go into that, not necessarily the final stretch, but this is it now. You look and say there's 10, 12, 13 games where you just want wins to do out, and if we can start that run from here on out now, we'll be probably better placed for it. So Chelsea presents us a great opportunity to lift the fans, get a bit of confidence, extend that lead over City and Arsenal again in the Premier League in terms of the points tally. So I hope the players are up for it. I can well imagine the crowd up for it tonight underneath the lights at Anfield. So I am looking forward to it. I'm just a bit gutted that it's Chelsea, I'll be honest.
Yeah, they've an Achilles heel has been getting wins over. It's just been draws. It's been draws ever since lockdown.
Ball draws
the last time we beat Chelsea was locked down in 90 minutes, of course. Depends in the two cup competitions, which, by the way, we shouldn't forget as wins. Dan, going to come over to you, my mate. We don't know the official Liverpool team news yet. We've half got wind that it's going to be that team behind you. And I suppose the big question, if that is the team, and we'll find out in about 11 minutes' time, mate, is the fullback situation. Obviously, Alexander-Arnold came on at the weekend. Andy Robertson came on at the weekend as well. But we're hearing that Conor Bradley and Joe Gomez are going to be asked to go again, which maybe makes you think the two lads I mentioned before maybe haven't got 90 minutes in them. But yeah, I suppose that's the biggest surprise, because once you see players come on as sub, you just think, oh, well, they're going to start the next one. But it appears that might not be the case.
Yeah, it can only really be a minute thing, can't it? We spoke about it yesterday in the match preview, and I don't think anybody really expected we'd be seeing these two at full-back again. And that's not to write off what they've done, because they've both been absolutely exceptional. Joe Gomez, in particular, for a longer period, he's been brilliant at left-back. And indeed, wherever we've used him so far this season. Conor Bradley, likewise. His cameo roles at first were brilliant at right-back, and his starts in more recent weeks have been exceptional as well. So I can't begrudge either of them starting when it comes to form, when it comes to ability, when it comes to the quality they've shown. But when you have got Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson back and available, they just feel like shoo-ins to come and start again. So yeah, I put it down to a minute thing. They're clearly not ready to play 90 minutes. They might have 60, 70 in the tank, who knows? But I don't really blame Jurgen Klopp. He's thinking, I'd rather bring them into a game than have to take them off at some point. I do get that thinking, but I am still quite surprised that neither of them are in the starting lineup.
And in all fairness as well, we can't forget that we have got Arsenal on Sunday.
Yes.
So if you had to, based on form, based on the way that both of those two teams have kind of seasons have panned out so far, if you're going to bring your big hitters back for any, you're looking to bring your big hitters back for the Arsenal game, in my opinion, anyway.
And Claude says, what a weapon to pull out on 60. Trent and Robbo, like a massive pair of cannons. He actually says a pair of massive cannons, but I preferred massive pair of cannons, because... Because yeah. but yeah, I think that's probably it, Dan. You probably want Trent to end the game rather than start the game. Yeah. Either you want to control it and see it out, or you need a goal or something.
And you might bring him on a midfield as well.
Yeah, you've got that option as well. Yeah. And also, and it was mentioned here by Daniel, he said, Gomez and Bradley deserve to start, and they've been in good rhythm, and they haven't let us down. Yeah. And that's a factor on this one as well, Dan. If that is the team, there's a lot of reasons as to why Conor Bradley and Joe Gomez have not let Liverpool down. They've been net positives, not just not let us down. So I can see why the manager trusts them both.
Absolutely, yeah, and rightfully so. It's testament to how brilliant those two have been that there's a good chance they will start this game tonight at home to Chelsea, which whatever Chelsea are doing at the moment, it's still a big game. Whatever iteration of Chelsea come to Anfield, this is a seismic clash. So the fact that those two could well be starting and nobody really is going to kick off about it is absolutely testament to how brilliant they've been. Conor Bradley especially, I think, because we kind of come to expect it in a way from Joe Gomez. He's more seasoned, he's been at the club for the longest period out of all these lads, so he's got that experience. Whereas Conor Bradley to come in and be so young and so raw and be so good has been so impressive. So yeah, they definitely deserve start, but it's still surprising me that they will be. But I take the point on the Arsenal game. If you do want to get the best out of those lads, maybe giving them half an hour tonight and then start on the weekend is the way to go. But when it comes to the subs and when it comes to potentially changing the direction of travel of a game of footy, Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool have been absolutely exceptional at this season. Usually in the attacking lineup when it comes to bringing on your Gakpos, your Jotas when he's been on the bench. However, if you've got Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold up your sleeve to try and change a game or indeed see out a game, that's not a bad position to be in.
Yeah, we got a comment here from Haslar who says, "Damn, where did you get your hoodie?" It's Redmen merch, isn't it?
Redmen merch. And on that note, 20% off ends tonight at midnight, so go and do that. And there's 25% off a couple of things, all the Mo Salah stuff and the lateral history range as well. So yeah.
Absolutely, there you go. Redmenmerch.com for any of the great merch that we have here, including our new Last Dance merch as well, which is fire. If you haven't checked it out, it's absolutely fire. Unfortunately, we've had to bring it out because we wish Jürgen was staying, but that's what it is. Yeah, one more time around there for the gaffer. Back to the team, Errol, if that is the team, and again we'll react to it shortly. One player who looks like he is going to get his first start for a long time is Szoboszlai on that right-hand side of midfield. He started like a house on fire. He kind of looked like a bit knackered and then got injured, which suggests maybe he was a little bit fatigued, and that's how you end up with a hamstring injury in the first place. But Liverpool, again, what's great is that Liverpool have been good without these players, but also what a time to bring a top player like him back, a big game as well. You know, someone who can score, someone who can influence games on that right-hand side. It's going to be a nice, if indeed he does start, which you think he will.
Yeah, and I think it complements, obviously, the other two, the McAllister and the Joneses. I think the balance, we've discussed a couple of times on previous shows, the balance with Szoboszlai and Jones in that midfield. Jones seems to not necessarily have adapted to like the genie role, but he's kind of got a couple of those skill sets in his locker. And then obviously with the Szoboszlais that can play the sweeping balls, can drive, can beat a man, drop a shoulder, all the rest of it. I think the two of them in that midfield really do pair well together. And then of course I think we're not necessarily that we've seen Szoboszlai's dip in form coincide with McAllister being out, but it was noticeable after a couple of games of McAllister being out, Szoboszlai not having McAllister there, he didn't look the same sort of player. So hopefully getting all three of those pieces back in that midfield jigsaw for us tonight can really up the levels of what they're able to do.
Absolutely. We've got a super chat here. We have one from JC, who sent 79p super chat. Thanks very much. No comment, so let you know your comments and we'll bring it out, my mate. Ellis has got a really important question. I'll fire this one at you first, Dan. Ellis says, with the £5 super chat, thanks very much, Ellis. He says, should he have fried chicken or kebab for his tea? He said, last time he had chicken, the Reds won 4-1, so he's considering the chicken. I mean, I think at this point you'd be foolish not to eat the chicken.
Yeah, it's got to be chicken. As a man who only eats chicken, it has to be chicken.
You eat more than chicken.
No, well, in terms of meat.
Yeah, you eat all the time. Like 10 times a day.
Every hour, literally. Yeah. But yeah, chicken. I mean, the 4-1 thing is something, but also chicken over kebab.
Fried chicken or kebab? What chicken?
It's always chicken there. It's just always good.
It might be a chicken kebab though.
No.
Doesn't specify.
No.
I think the fact that
I was going to say where you getting your fried chicken from, because if it's not KFC, I don't want it.
Yeah, you don't want to knock off. Like,
yeah, I don't want to.
Do you remember when KFC did that thing when they took a picture of every shop and it was like an AFC, BFC, CFC? If you go into like JFC or something,
we don't want it. You know what I mean? Go get yourself the proper bargain bucket to get it in.
Absolutely,
and the gravy.
Absolutely,
go large.
If anyone from KFC is watching and wants to sponsor us, I would just take free food.
I wouldn't be. Literally, I would.
Don't even want your dough.
Just the free food.
We'll do. I mean, I do want your money.
Stints, and to be fed at this time right now would be perfect.
Absolutely. So yeah,
boxers KF.
Absolutely sort us out. Going back to the football, which feels slightly less important. Dan, the team you've got behind you, you've put Luis Diaz on the right-hand side. That front three is very interchangeable. Nunes and Jota, So, well, Jota can play anywhere, Diaz can play either side, and Núñez can play left or up front. So there's loads of different ways that could be. What made you think, again, we wait for the official team, if that is the team, what made you go with that line up there? Because Jürgen has been keen to say he tried to keep as many players in their best positions as he can. Of course, if they're 1A positions. In that one you've got there, are they all in that one? Jota maybe, the other two maybe not. So I'm just wondering what made you think that way.
I think at the moment Darwin Núñez might be as well, if we're being honest. I think we're getting the best out of him in there. I think the important thing to stress on this, and you touched on it there, is the fluidity of them all, because they could easily pop up in any one of those three positions as the game pans out, whether it be in transition or just naturally they find themselves there, or Diaz having particular joy against a particular defender and so on and so forth. So I think it's going to be interesting how they do line up. I think nominally it will look a little bit like this, and we've seen a little bit of Diaz from the right. My preference would always be Diogo Jota from the right, because he's the most two-footed of the lot of them. You can go either way, and I love that in Diogo Jota. I love a lot of things about Diogo Jota, but when it comes to having him central, I think getting him between the width for the post is just crucial, because we touched on it yesterday. This could be a game, Liverpool-Chelsea games have been so tight in recent times, that this could be a game that's decided on one or two chances, maybe a mistake here and there. So if you are going to be few and far between when it comes to gilt-edged chances, you want Diogo Jota on the end of as many of them as possible. So getting him central could be key to that. But as I say, with Diaz, you touched on it again, they're the 1A. There is no 1A right winger at the moment, Liverpool Football Club. There's Kate Gordon, but he's obviously so inexperienced, it's never going to be him. With Salah away, somebody kind of has to do the hard yards out here in the graveyard shift. I think Diaz might just be the best option for this tonight, because as I say, getting Jota central could be absolutely key.
Absolutely. We'll see how it pans out, if indeed that is the team that we're expecting a couple of weeks' time. Ellis has clarified with another super chat, I was going to go to my local chicken shop and not KF. I mean, it depends. My local chicken shop's Nabsy's, you know, and Nabsy's is sound. Nabsy's is alright, to be fair. The red salt's class, so it depends on how good your local chicken shop is. But KFC deliver, like,
just gotta just
I think you're better just paying extra. You get what you pay for when it comes to your food. So I would go KF if the option's there. If it's not, hopefully your local chicken shop's nice enough. Z said, any chance of Trent in the middle and Bradley on the right-hand side? Now, again, we don't think that is the team, Z, from start, and we'll find out in a couple of minutes. But I think that's definitely an option off the bench. If Liverpool need a spark, they can absolutely do that. Wouldn't be, you know, you could do whatever you want. You could put Gomez at right back, and you can do whatever you want. There's a lot of fluidity in this team, but I don't think Trent's starting. But I think at some point that is something I do think we'll see a game between now and the end of the season where Trent starts in midfield and someone else is at right back. I'd be shocked if we don't. And like I say, Jürgen has gone to that a couple of times. He went to it against Fulham, and it worked. Obviously, Trent gets the goal as well, but it is something we might see a little bit more of now. That especially if he trusts Conor Bradley and Joe Gomez at right back, which we were never sure who he trusted to deputise for Trent. He has got the option.
Yeah, he's got
if he wants to play Trent in midfield.
Yeah, he's certainly got two viable options in that right back position now if they're going to be understudies for Trent. And I don't think, based on the form and the quality that these two lads have put in for us over the last couple of weeks, any of us would really grumble if Trent was afforded the opportunity to move into midfield. It just, what do we do then? Does McAllister then become the second date? I think it's hard because possibly we're at Jones's richest vein of form.
He's the best player in the field at the moment.
There we go. So then are you going to put Trent in over McAllister? Does that work? Does that still give us the same level of defensive solidity? I'm not 100% sure that it does at this particular moment in time. And obviously having them both on the pitch is a massive asset. And as you mentioned before, we want as many net pluses as positive. Or I think I would leave him where he is for the time being. Absolutely
right then. The official team is out, and it is, as we have expected, on the board behind. Dan's just drastically sorting out his subs bench there. You nailed it. Dan's cool and calm as you like. It is that team, Dan. We don't know. Again, Liverpool go back to the number of things. We don't know the formations, but it is Ali, Gomez, Van Dijk, Konate, Diaz, Szoboszlai, Núñez, McAllister, Jones, Jota and Bradley. And then a bench. You've got Kelleher, Gakpo, Elliott, Robertson, Gravenberch, Clark, McConnell, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Jarrell Quansah. So all of a sudden, Dan, not only is the first 11 good, but the bench is looking a lot stronger. We've been at a couple of games, Errol, where we've only had two subs, really, and then a lot of young lads. Now off that bench, you've got Gakpo, Elliott, Robinson, Gravenberch and Trent. You're allowed to make 5 subs. There's 5 senior players you can bring on this pitch. So the bench is looking stronger now, which is the benefit of players come back from injury, obviously. But it's a good 11 and a very strong bench.
Yeah, and it's about time. Do you know what I mean? We've had some skeleton staff on the bench, so to speak, in recent weeks.
We've had the young lads, haven't we? We've had the under 23s.
That Brentford game before the international break, the last one was kids. Literally.
Palace was similar, wasn't it?
I think it was Harvey Elliott, Cody Gakpo, and then Trey and Yanni and Boo as kids, man, real kids. So this is boss.
Absolutely, we're lucky. I'll take it.
Absolutely.
All day. What's this Chelsea team saying, though? Because
I'll bring you that in a second. We got a super chat from the proverbial Screw, which is a nice name. I'm predicting a comfortable win tonight, lads. I think our lads will stop at nothing to win this league. I think keep the form players in, which Liverpool have done. And at the end, he just says, I'll swerve Nabsies. Fair enough. I like it. I'm a fan. Like it. I'm all right with it. But I respect your opinion on it. I like the red salt. You know, I'm all right with it.
I enjoyed that.
The one by ours, they did the chicken shop YouTube channel. They did that. The one by mine with Paddy the Baddie.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, okay, right by ours, yeah. Anyway, back at the Chelsea team that Errol so desperate to see. I'll bring that to you. Now, they've got Petrovic in goal. It's got Disasi, Thiago Silva, Badashile, and then Ben Chilwell at the back.
As captain,
but he is their captain. Rhys James.
That's a wild one, that, isn't it?
He is their captain. And then, it's on the telly now as well. They've got Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. Welcome to Anfield, Moises Caicedo. Raheem Sterling back at Anfield as well. Conor Gallagher and Noni Madueke. But it looks like Cole Palmer potentially up front, although Chelsea put their graphic out. It could be Raheem Sterling up front. Now, Nicholas Jackson wasn't allowed to fly back from Senegal and play. I mean, it would have been late anyway. They only got knocked out on penalties the other day.
I bet they were made it up.
Yeah, he's net positive. Nkunku is only fit enough to be on the bench. Their bench actually got a couple of good players on this, including maybe Mudryk, Nkunku, Broja. So I know Chelsea have had their own injury issues as well, but they have got Gusto's on their bench, and then they've got quite a young bench.
Who did he play for? Was he on loan? Was he on loan with? I want to say not. It wasn't Norwich. Broja. Was it not?
Southampton?
Or was it? He looked decent when he was with them.
He's been linked with like £50 million move to Fulham.
Yeah. Really? Yeah.
This window, I mean, that's a big fee for him. Either way, they
doesn't command that fee on his form at the minute. Like
no,
you're right. He hasn't scored. Touch wood. It looks like they've gone for like the false 90 thing, whether it's Sterling or Palmer. The TV graphic says Palmer. Sorry, Palmer, but the way Chelsea put their graphic on socials, it could be Sterling. He's the last name on the list. Either way, they haven't got that recognised striker. Nkunku was meant to be the man. He's had an injury. He got a bad injury in pre-season. He never really got back from it. But they're going for a different setup. They're going to buzz around Liverpool with Gallagher, with Madueke, with Sterling, with Palmer. It's a bit different.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to be very elusive and make it hard work. It's going to be guessing games. Who do we pick up? Whose run do we cover? Whose man are we watching? Who's going to want to be the one to make the run in behind? They're not going to want to be sticking close to the centre halves because none of those players have got the physicality to deal with a Konate, let alone a Van Dijk. Again, I think one of the good things, or the tricky thing for me is I'm confident that Joe Gomez has got the pace to deal with anything that comes down his way. It's just Bradley now. Bradley's going to be in with a much higher quality test tonight. Hopefully, again, he's got Konate there to help shield. We've seen him, we've seen Konate do that and put out fires for Trent in situations. The Arsenal game springs to mind when Martinelli skipped past him a couple of times. Konate just shut the door. So if we do need that backstop, Konate might still be there and he'll serve a purpose. However, Bradley's going to be in for the game tonight one way or another, and it feels as though Chelsea may try to target that, especially when it comes to the picking up of the men. If it can be quite elusive and who does he pick up, that might be where we've seen his anticipation really good, but this is another test for that because there's going to be a whole different toolkit being thrown your way.
Yeah, loads of rotation. Baldy Copite, which isn't me, by the way, with the $14.99, which I thanks very much. $14.99 Aussie dollars, which kind of explains why it's not me. He says, hopefully we can put this lot to bed early and hope we take our chances when we get them. They can be dangerous as they proved against City, so we'll need to be careful, even if they've been so poor. Dom says as well, Dan, it looks like that's a team that's going to try and catch us on the break.
Yes,
they have shown Chelsea, they've been up and down. They've had a little turnaround recently. Cole Palmer's been the driving force behind that, I think we'd all say. He's been in really good form. And they have performed well in those big games. But I do agree with Dom's comment. That looks like a team Chelsea have put out. That looks like it wants to catch Liverpool on the break. There's pace up front. There isn't a number 9 who they're going to play off. It's not going to be up and hold it. It looks like a team that's going to try and sit in deep with those two holders in front of a back four and then try and hit Liverpool on the break. How do you think our team that we've got behind you there on the board matches up to a team who are going to try and counter-attack us?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I completely agree with the point as well, by the way. I was stood there thinking, as you were talking a moment ago, it feels like it is going to be a counter-attack approach from Chelsea. We're going to dictate terms in terms of how lows of the ball, but hopefully a lot of it in the final third as well, and try and impose ourselves on the game and not really give Chelsea a sniff. But yeah, I think they will be coming to counter-attack. They've got more pace on the bench as well when you look at Mudryk, and it's interesting, speaking about Conor Bradley there, it's definitely going to be a test for him tonight, but so far he's risen to each and every single test that we've thrown his way, so I have no real qualms, no real issues heading into it. But in terms of us, yeah, I think, listen, we line up in the way we line up. This midfield especially is a very technical midfield. Liverpool don't really own a not technical midfield anymore, do we? We've got absolutely full of technicians, including on the bench. So I think we've just got to approach it in the way we approach every single game. Try and, like I say, try and be dominant, control the ball, control the spaces, control what Chelsea can and can't do to us, and just try and nullify any of their counter-attack threat. And I think with Konate and Van Dijk in particular, we do have the perfect defence to do so. And Errol mentioned Joe Gomez as well. I mean, for all what was not his usual form last season, his pace looks to have come back to him most importantly as well. So I don't really have any issues heading into this one with what we've seen from the team news anyway.
One more question now before I start wrapping things up. It comes from the Discord. It's new waves official, right? Says I think we'll smash Chelsea. Casado will hopefully reinforce in his head how badly he messed up. Lucky miss for us, unfortunately, as he's been horrid. He'll never walk alone. Oh, there's me on the telly. Look at that. I'm in two places at once. How's that happening? It's a miracle. Throw forward to me and back to me. If you're watching TNT Sports now, I'm on the telly over there. But back in the studio, Errol, Casado, that is the subplot to this, isn't it? In his head, he's got a lot to prove.
Yeah. He definitely has I'm really distracted by this. I'm looking at you and then I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, what's going on? Hey, you look good on the TV though. You look good in real life, but on the TV.
Yeah, me and Paul Gorst.
You got that glow. Anyway.
I've ruined the illusion that BT Sport... I'm trying to portray. He did say this is going to go out as if it's live. It was like an hour and a half ago.
Well, now you know, because we are the real live. We do the real live business.
Shall I do a selfie of me on the telly?
You should do, yeah.
You told me you was with her.
Do
go on, do the selfie quick.
What's that, Errol?
You just said he was... Yo.
What's wrong?
Yeah, selfie of me on the telly.
Good lad. Now,
she was lovely, by the way, Jules. Yeah, she was fantastic. She was really, really professional, fantastic, and then it's always a pleasure to talk with Paul Gorst as well. So yeah,
Paul sound.
Yeah, good one. Anyway, Casado.
I think personally, yeah, he's got to be. You've got to.
It's a Spider-Man meme. Sorry, I can't get over.
You've got to at the same time for Casado though. Like he's got to be kicking himself because now the news of Klopp's come out. The situation spiraled even more because you're like, that was my one chance. Like there are certain clubs that you own when they come around and come knocking. They'll only.
My mum's asked me to take a picture for her, by the way. So you crack on. I'm going to take a picture.
We'll get there in a minute.
We'll get there in the end. I say though, he's a bum, and tonight it's not going to be his night, and he's still going to be shooting himself in the
I can't take a picture. It's on Paul Gorst. He's a very handsome man, by the way. But I'm only messing, Mum. It's only messing.
We touched just very quickly before we start wrapping up. Like we touched on the strength and depth of this squad. I know you're doing it again, but like think about the lads who aren't even here tonight. Salah, Wataru Endo. Like we are at Kostas Tsimikas. We are absolutely. But they've still got to come into this squad. And Thiago, Stefan Pachetes, Thiago's training. Who would have thought it? So, my God, we're good, aren't we? We're boss.
Absolutely.
Sorry, carry on.
We need to pull up the stats about the games that we've not won when Thiago's been in the match day squad as well. Because if he can even just replicate 80% of that form, we are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I'm still all in.
Yeah.
All in on seeing a little bit of Thiago from now on. Yeah, absolutely.
We've got to. Like, can you imagine? I love Curtis Jones. I rate what you're doing, lad, and keep doing what you're doing for years to come, yeah? But whole bench, if Thiago's fit, just whole bench for 6 weeks and lift a couple trophies and have the best time of your life in the process because we ain't going to get that chance again, let me tell you.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's me on the telly. Look at that.
Are you on telly? Are you on the telly now?
Still there.
Should have said.
Still there, yeah. Me and Jules.
Someone should have said it.
Yeah, I didn't bring. I don't like to bring it up. I don't like to brag.
I'm Paul Gorst.
Yeah. So we know this coverage isn't live, says James. Absolutely.
Mum's the word.
Simon has got a super chat before we head off, guys. I did say we're going to wrap up early. But anyway, Simon very quickly says the new documentary's been announced. How are you feeling about it? I'm all right with it because Jürgen's all right with it, and that's fine by me. And also, if we win something, which I think we probably will at least, it's going to be great to have it documented as well. And they have said they're not going to, the players aren't going to be everywhere. There's going to be private areas where they're not involved. So they are doing it as well as Liverpool wanted it to be.
Sound. I'm happy with it.
Dan?
Yeah, more than happy with it, mate. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Right, then let's start wrapping things up here. Now you've seen our team and their team. Let us know in the chat. I'll read a few of yours out. Dan, as I'm reading some messages, get you thinking hat on, and Errol as well. I'm going to want some score predictions. In the meantime, just to let you know, we'll be live with the watch along at 8 p.m. ahead of the 8:15 kickoff. So do come and join us for that one. Go and have a little half an hour break. Go and watch the first 30 minutes of Man City 7, Burnley 0. Come back to us at 8 o'clock and we'll guide you through the entire game as well. And then after the fact, after the game, there'll be 2 shows on YouTube with me, the fan interactive show and the player ranking show. Over on redmenplus.com, you'll have Dan with the player rating show and the instant match reaction. Today is the last day you can use our 3-month code. It ends midnight, January 31st. So yeah, get yourselves involved. Head on over to redmenplus.com, sign up as a monthly captain, use the promo code CLOP, and you'll get it free for a month. So you'll get all the coverage from today for an entire month, which will include, of course, the build-up and reaction to Liverpool in the League Cup final. Right then, a couple of your score lines before I get the lads. James has gone for 2-0 with Nunes and Jota. Nos has gone for a 2-1 as well. Motorset Ali has gone for a 3-1. Diane has gone for a 2-1. Dan?
Yeah, best is yet to come. Starts tonight. I'm sticking with it. I said yesterday, Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1. Darwin Nunes on the score sheet.
Errol?
Ooh, I would love a goal fest because I've been in work all day, and if this game's boring, I'm a fucking struggle. I need energy, but I can't see past the 2-1 to Liverpool.
I said 2-1 late winner. There's your energy. There's your energy.
Yeah, that'll send me into the post-match shows hyped, but fair enough.
That's how I'm going to go. I think
Red Bull's needed. Just go get some energy.
Well, yeah, right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me, Dan, and Errol for the Uncensored match build-up. Do come back in 30 minutes' time and join us for the entire watch-along, and yet we'll guide you through Liverpool versus Chelsea. We'll see you all then.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the content today. If you want to get your name in and amongst these wonderful people, then head to redmenplus.com. Join as a Legend tier subscriber. You're going to get free merchandise codes. You're going to get in our Discord, and you're going to get your name at the end of YouTube videos. Yes, redmenplus.com, Legend tier status.